There's some mellow vibes, Sonee.
I like that. It's a good way to start the morning.
It's a really good way to start the morning. It's also really good for this book, whose author we're talking to today, Fleur Chambers of Wholehearted Confidence, a new way to live, love, and contribute. We can't wait for our audience to meet her, can't we not?
Yes, we are so excited.
Let's get stuck in. Come and join us, Fleur. Welcome.
That music is pretty cool.
So mellow, isn't it? It
Yes.
goes with your book. It goes with your vibe, your book.
Yes,
vibe.
it does. It sort of even goes with the waves of the mountains.
The dancing book club.
Yes. Don't be giving us any ideas.
No, before you know it, that's it. That is what will happen.
So, Fleur, thank you so much for Wholehearted Confidence. We're 1 week in and we are just loving it. Of course, I've read this before. I've been part of the journey of it coming together, and it's just such a sacred process that you harness to bring your books to life, not only just the words, but also the pictures. So can you share with us, because this is book 2 for you, 10 Pathways is book 1. I highly recommend that, and we will review that as well at some stage. But this was kind of like a book that flowed beautifully for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it started as a course, actually. It started as an online course that 10,000 people went through, and I got a sense that maybe I was onto something. Yeah. So I put an email out to my community and asked if anybody who'd taken that course would be interested in exploring the ideas more deeply, working with me over a couple of months, and then I would use their stories. I would share their experiences in the book as case studies. So it felt very collaborative, and it was really a lovely way to remember that things can often change form. Like, things can start as a course or an idea or a program. They can turn into a book. So I think that's very cool and very creative. And so what I really had come to understand is that confidence is just not this really loud, extroverted way of being in the world. It's not about talking more than listening or getting over all your insecurities. That actually there are a lot of us who are more gentle, who are more gently purpose-led, who like to listen, who are more intuitive or connected to nature, and that they should actually be allowed to feel confident too. So it really was a rejection of that sort of old, shoulders back, strong handshake, present yourself really strongly to the world, and an invitation for the more gentle souls, for people who are more purpose-driven, passionate, and maybe introverted, to really feel like they could step into their own power and make a contribution too.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons that the book spoke so personally to me, because I started reading it, in fact, yesterday in preparation for our interview, because I'd read your 10 Pathways and already a big fan. And so I thought, okay, let me at least, get an idea of what this book is before an interview. I read it in one sitting. I just started and went through the whole entire thing. Of course, bookmarking where I want to go back, because you have so much to offer in that book. But at the same time, I really felt like you were speaking my language. I mean, I felt really identified, really connected. And I absolutely love that. And I think a big factor of that is the stories that you share, because you do share quite a lot of that. Can you tell us a little bit more of how that came to be? Like, why was that important in the book?
Well, I think, first of all, thanks so much for reading it and for enjoying it and for letting me know that it spoke to you. That's just so beautiful. I love receiving that feedback. And I think my first book was really quite personal. It was a journey inwards, an experience about my own life with chronic pain, and a real ability and a real commitment to speak and support others along the way. But I just wanted to bring more people in and celebrate more people. And this idea that we use our sense of confidence, not just to better ourselves, not for this sense of individualistic need or reward, but actually to be better humans and to make a positive contribution to the world. And so I feel like just by identifying other people's stories, their successes, their challenges, I was already doing that. So celebrating other people and allowing other people's voices to be heard as well.
And you also share your journey, which I sort of felt that, you know, we saw your growth through the book. Like, you actually talked to us about how you came into your sense of confidence. So can you share a little bit more about how that was for you in terms of writing the book?
Well, as Karen, and I'm sure you know too, it's the writer's journey, isn't it? You set out to write the book going, oh, I'm wholeheartedly confident. And then as you're writing, the universe just taps you on the shoulder and says, but are you really? Here's this little challenge you're going to have to go through. So I call that like the universal curriculum. The universe has a terrific sense of humor and will often just keep you in check in the writing process. So for me, I guess I had some moments of vulnerability. I had some moments of doubt. I had some pain flare-ups, which is my body's way of telling me that I don't feel ready or I'm feeling nervous about being seen. And so I really had to practice wholehearted confidence. And a huge part of that is not trying to get rid of your vulnerabilities, not trying to get rid of your imposter syndrome or fears of not being enough, but rather being with them for long enough and with such gentle curiosity that they actually turn into something more beautiful. And so that's what I really had to work with in this, was being with the fear of being seen, of stepping into a bigger and bolder and more beautiful version of myself, that fear of being judged, all of that stuff. And so that was really, the universe really gave me some moments to practice what I preached.
Isn't it just magic how you actually epitomize the whole journey whilst writing it? And each book does that, doesn't it? Whatever the theme of the book is always the theme of the author, you know, the writing and publishing journey. I've seen it so many times. So I'm like, don't write about things that are tumultuous because you're going to go on that journey. Honestly, it's always the essence, isn't it? And Fleur, you've invested really heavily in pulling this book together. I know how much, effort and resources and everything that goes into pull together like such a beautiful book. Please ignore my nail polish, but like, look at that page. I am enough. I am worthy. I am safe. I am lovable. I choose a new story. And we can do that every single day, every chapter, every season of our life. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Gorgeous. Learn to receive a smile from the sky above. Gorgeous.
Don't you just breathe in each of the quotes on those quote pages, Sonee? Aren't they just so, they're so beautiful? And you know my favorite one, Fleur, because I'm trying to find it here, because we put it on, we created it into, there we go. This just makes me do this every time I see it. Shoulders back, heart open. Just breathe that day in. Beautiful. But you teamed up with the amazing Eliza Todd for this, to bring your words to life. So can you share with us a bit about that vision?
I love the creative process that comes with making a book, or similarly, when I create meditation courses, it's the music that gets created. So it's that little bit extra that really creates that energetic component of a book. So I feel like there's a lot of self-help books out there. There's a lot of books that really have to-do lists, and we can get quite striving and intentional about them. And I just wanted people to feel that sense of emotion when they look at the illustrations. I wanted to bring out affirmations. I love the interplay between words and space and art. And I actually really love the magic of putting the pieces together. So first of all, working with the illustrator around the energy of the illustration. So there's 4 parts to the book, and there's different colors. And even there's one part which is called Dancing with Your Shadows, and they're all purples and grays. And then towards the end, when we get into expand, it's orange and yellow, like the sky and the sunshine. So the colors are supposed to move people energetically through emotions. And then the bit about working out which illustrations are going to go on which page and everything is just quite fun. It's a big project, but I really love seeing it come together.
Here's another really favorite one of mine. Oh, sorry, let me see if I can angle it. The bright star sparkling against the what? I can't see.
Endless darkness.
Yes, endless darkness spoke to the depths of me. Like, and I mean, that is just gorgeous. I can't really get it. Oh, there we go.
And so how cool is that? So that's a story of when I was in Patagonia about 20 years ago, and I was looking up at the night sky off a glacier, and then to have my words put onto a piece of art, it's pretty cool. And I think another reason why I do it, not only for the reader to allow it to be more beautiful, more energetic, a nicer book on the bedside table, but also writing can be quite a lonely, insular process. And so I like teaming up with other creatives. I like working with the students to bring their case study stories to life. And I love working with an illustrator.
Yeah. And is it when are you strategic in the stories that you choose to share, or is it as you're writing a story will come and it just flows into the book? How does that work for you?
My friends who I share a workspace with thought I had them all printed out. I was like a student studying for year 12. I had little piles. I'd move them around. Whose story went here? So I'm quite thorough and quite strategic, but then the magic happens. So without wanting to give things away, I started with a woman's story about her sharing her artwork when she was a little girl with family and friends, and her brother telling us it was no good. And then she sort of shied back into herself. Her confidence and her creativity was sort of dampened. And by luck, universal wisdom, the wisdom of creativity, I ended with a story, a magnificent story of hers about her daughter and connecting with the energy of her daughter who had passed away. And I only realized in the mapping out of it that I'd started with her and I'd ended with her. So there's also a bit of luck. There's also a bit of intuition. There's also a bit of magic that goes with all the printing and the moving pieces of paper around. And that's the journey, isn't it?
Oh, it is the magic. And it's like divine intervention whenever you're reading it afterwards and you go, oh, wow, I didn't notice that, but that is exactly what's supposed to be right there. You know, things happen and things come into your thoughts, don't they? Because you're so fully immersed in bringing this book to you are living wholehearted confidence every moment, and you can feel it in this book, can't you, Sonee? It's like I just love it, and I love that it doesn't have to be loud in your face. It can be soft and received beautifully, but still have the impact on someone's journey. In fact, probably a more deeper impact because it just comes in underneath the surface and does the work and holds people's hands and guide them. It's just beautiful, beautiful process. I just love that this was a course and now it's a book. And do you still do the course?
Yeah, absolutely. They work very well hand in hand. And I think also what's lovely is it's really anything goes in terms of reading it. Like you can read it cover to cover in one sitting. You can have it on your bedside table and just flick through a practice once a week and then allow it to land. You can maybe ignore the practices and just look at the case studies. Like you can look at the pictures. So there's a lot of freedom with how you could interact with this book.
Yeah, and there's things for everybody to get actionable with too, isn't there? Look.
Yeah, because there's so much practical application that you have, not just the quotes, but you have exercises, visualizations, reflections, that there's really so much a person can take away from it. And really it's whatever they're willing to do or whatever they're open to doing at the moment. And I do feel that this is a book that you can come back to. That maybe at one point you're going through something, but then at some other point you're going through something else and you can revisit the areas that you're interested in. And so is this course you said it's still available. If somebody were interested, where would they find it?
So it's actually, this course is 21 days. It's about 20 minutes a day, and it's free at the moment on the Happy Habit app, which is my meditation app. And it's free because it's the 4th birthday of the Happy Habit app. So I've put this course on. Way to celebrate. So it's called Morning Meditations for Inner Confidence, and it's on the Happy Habit app, and it's a beautiful companion to this book, because also some people will be like, oh, I love these ideas, I'd love to explore them deeper in meditation, and so they can.
Can I just share how much I love the Happy Habit app? And the thing about you, Fleur, is when you immerse yourself in creativity and service and sharing what works for you with others. Like, I love your Instagram account, you know, seeing you pop up and just sharing really things that we can connect and resonate with. But what you create with books and courses and with your app, it just, every bit of it makes somebody's world a better place. And you could just trust that you can go into Fleur Chambers' world and you're going to be immersed in something that will heal you, will advance you, will awaken you. There's something there that you will resonate with. And I just have to say kudos for showing up for it, because it just is what the world needs right now. It's amazing. Beautiful.
Well, thank you. That's very generous of you to say, Karen, and I'm super grateful for your support and for believing in me from the very, very beginning. And I think if there was a message I really wanted for everyone, is like, we can all make a positive contribution. It doesn't need to be through giving money or doing massive things around advocating for political change. It can just be listening more wholeheartedly to your kids, letting someone out in the street, asking the person who fills your supermarket bags how they are. Like, if we use that sense of inner wholehearted confidence and actually share it with the world, then, you know, we're doing well.
And one last thing on that, because I noticed that some people have hardened with things that have happened, adversities in life, and their heart hardens. And sometimes it's hard for them to, sorry, my phone's ringing, it's connected to my computer. It's really hard for them sometimes to soften their heart and let it to just become wholehearted. What advice do you have for people like that to try and break that mold that they have protecting themselves?
Yeah, well, I think that it's a great question, because a lot of people have had a lot of challenges, big and small, and it's very, very natural for their hearts to close over, to feel protected. So this is a really natural and normal and understandable thing. And so we just imagine, like, if we were waking a baby from asleep, we wouldn't just pull the covers off really suddenly. We'd just gently pull the covers back a little bit at a time. And so that's really, I think, what we do with our heart, is we just pull back the covers slowly. And so we just give maybe our heart one thing to focus on a day, rather than it needs to feel everything all at once, good, bad, and everything in between. So maybe just each day you wake up and, okay, today I'm going to focus on gratitude. I'm just going to open to seeing a few little grateful things. The next day, I'm going to open to forgiveness. See if I can forgive myself, my kids, someone in the street. And so just giving your heart a little bit of guidance around waking up, because often when we do wake a heart that's been asleep for a long time, it's like a puppy. It's just going everywhere and it's feeling all the things all at once. And it goes, oh, this is too much. Actually, I'm going back to sleep. So we just do it slowly.
Great advice. And it's just being aware and being kinder to yourself as well. Isn't it, Fleur? Just being aware and saying, well, you know what? I actually did open my heart today in this scenario or this scenario. And gratitude is a beautiful hack for it as well, isn't it? Just being mindful. Beautiful. Oh, Sonee. All right, everyone, go grab your copy online with the Kindle app, or with you can go to KMD Bookstore. We've got copies going out today. And if you come to KMD Bookstore, you get a nice and beautiful image to put in a frame. And it just, I walk into the room every day. It's in my
That would be
room.
so exciting.
It is so beautiful. So yeah, go grab your copy and then come and share with us what your review and what you think, and come and join us next week as me and Sonee review the book in full together. But it's so beautiful to get to know Fleur, who I absolutely adore, and go and check out all of the things about Fleur Chambers, Happy Habit app, all of those things. You would be glad that you did.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been so lovely to chat with you both.
Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Bye, guys. See you next